Hi, it's been a long time since I saw a lot of you. Been some time since I did my live on YouTube, right? So it's good to be back. Okay, so I know I didn't give an advance notice that I'm going live. Um, I love live. I don't like to do recording and upload because I love to actually have um, one-to-one or also direct interaction with people online. So today I'm going to talk about the Ujian Akhir Sesi Academic English Language. There are two papers that has been prepared by KPM for schools to use when pupils, all of you students go back to school in January, right? So some of you or most of you might know the format of the Ujian Akhir Sesi Academic for English Language. You could get this information from Didiktv, which has, I think, mentioned the format. So basically, I'm just going to go into details of my understanding. Please feel free to ask questions if you need to, because I can read your questions. And just know that there is a delay of a few seconds from where I'm streaming. Um, Also forgive me if there is, any problems with the streaming because I've not been streaming uh, for years, and I'm coming back slowly to it. I'm going to focus on a lot of different things. Hopefully, time is on my side for this. So let's just start on the format, since I'm sure whoever will be watching this would be very interested in knowing how the paper would be like. All right. So if you have friends, just let your friends know, because you can watch this anywhere while on your journey, in your vacation, whatever, just on your YouTube, and you can see this. All right. Okay. So the content that we're going to look at today is, first of all, what is Ujian Akhir Sesi Academic, format of the test, and then you can ask questions anytime you like. Feel free. There is no fear in asking questions, and also and we're going to conclude the whole thing at the end of it. All right. So first of all, uh, what is Ujian Akhir Sesi Academic? All right. I know you all know, like, as though like it's an end of year exam, but it's a little bit different from what you are normally used to, because we are so into centralized examination, where you had when you were younger, you heard that you had to sit for an exam in year 6 UPSR, and then form 3 PT3 before you sit for SPM. But this is a little bit different because, first of all, Ujian Akhir Sesi Academic is actually a summative assessment. Summative in the classroom, when your teacher teaches you, all right, your teacher asks you questions, your teacher make you do work. They will give you an assessment. I'm sure you know, called a TP, whether TP 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the highest 6. That is in the classroom. You also have another assessment which is called a summative assessment, which also actually is a combination of these two exam assessment. All right, it's part of pentaksiran bilik darjah, which you have heard, I'm sure, PBD. And you sit for this, you have these two assessment, the one that is every day in the classroom, and then when your teacher gives you monthly tests, or your teacher gives you at the end of the unit test, right? So that is a summative assessment, which also will be informed through your TP. So what happens is, when you do this summative assessment, your teacher would give the report of your marks to a system. Okay, I don't know what the system would look like. All right, so the system will then combine both of this assessment, and then you'll come up with one TP, or level of performance. So whether you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, depends on not only your classroom, what you have done in your classroom, how active you are in the classroom, whether you can answer questions in the classroom, whether you are able to carry out a lot of the activities in the classroom, plus how you are performing in the exam. So it's a combination of both for you to come up with a TP. And your parents will be informed of a platform. I don't know the exact name of the platform yet, right? Where your parents can also check your results with an explanation on how you have done. It's similar like SAPS, but SAPS is for examination 100%, whereas the new system is a combination of all of your assessment. I think it includes your PAJSK and all the others, if I'm not mistaken. We will only know in detail when the system is in full run next year, okay? When you sit for the exam. All right, so let's continue with this. All right, just remember it is not a centralized examination like the SPM or the defunct PT3 or the defunct UPSR. Okay, just remember that is part of your assessment, classroom assessment. What it means is this: when you are in Form 1, you only access what you have learned in Form 1. When you are in Form 2, you only access on what you have learned in Form 2. No questions will be asked about Form 1. When you're Form 3, only what you have learned in Form 3, because classroom assessment is based on the current year, not centralized exam like before that Form 3, you'll be asked from Form 1, 2, and 3. So you have to be clear about that. Make sure you understand that. So don't become panic and say that you have to do reference or study again what you have learned. If you're Form 3 especially, you have to study all over again what is in Form 1, Form 2. It is the current year. Okay, classroom-based assessment for the current year, okay? Right. Now, the time allocation, okay? So for the code of the paper is 12/1, reading and use of English. You are given 1 hour and 30 minutes. It seems like it's a plenty of time. There's a reason why you're given plenty of time. I'll explain to you when I come to it after we have discussed the 12.1 paper. The second paper is 12.2, writing. It's 1 hour. All right, so let's begin. Everyone is quiet. I know some people are watching, but no one is saying anything yet. So the first one, format of the English language test. So you have 12/1 reading and use of English. So there are 5 parts. As usual, the one that your teacher has been teaching you about the 5 parts is the same. Is there some differences a little bit on the type of questions you'll be asked based on the form that you are in, right? So part 1 is a 3-option MCQ question. Part 2, error correction. Part 3, information transfer. Part 4, reading comprehension. And part 5, matching gap text. So let's go each part. Please feel free to ask questions. I don't bite anyone. At the comment box, right? At the live chat, you can ask questions. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's continue. So part 1, you have 8 marks because you will have 8 MCQ questions. And from the 8 MCQ questions, each MCQ questions have the 3-option MCQ, right? That means each question you have 3 options that you have to choose. That's very easy. So the type of text that you can get, it can be advertisements, it can be labels, it can be notices, it can be communicative messages, you know, simple messages like from a mother to a child or from your friend to you or whatever. So these are simple, very short text, 3 options, and it tests on whether you understand main ideas, whether you understand specific details. All right, and also guessing meaning from words that they might ask you based on the text. And then for part 2, 8 marks, I am not giving you sample questions because you can see all these sample questions from any of the activity books or revision books that your parents have bought you, or even the one that your teachers have shared with you. Now part 2, 8 marks also, and this is your favorite error correction, your favorite in quotation marks. which is an extended text, meaning it's longer text compared to part 1, which are short text, right? And it was told that a title is provided so that you get an idea what the text is about. Now, if you don't see a title, don't panic. Just by reading the first paragraph and the last paragraph, you will get an idea what the text is. But it has been informed that a text will be given. No matter what has been told to us, always be prepared if there is any difference. Just read. Please read the instruction and read whatever information that is given to you so that you are able to answer the questions correctly. Okay, now after a title is provided, okay, a title is provided so you know what the text is about, you need to correct the 8 words that have been underlined. I'm sure you are used to this. Okay, so and always an example is provided and the number is 0. So the first 8 questions in your MCQ, 3 option MCQ question, you have 1 to 8. Then you have 0. Then you have 9, 10, 11, 12 until 16 for you to do the corrections. Now, I'm sure your teacher has taught you how you can do this. With my own pupils, what I do is I play a game of family members. All right, meaning that if the word that has been underlined is, say, for example, run, so the family members of run cannot be walk. This is a different family. Walk is a stranger. So you must use everything to do with run. For example, running, ran, runs with an S, runner, noun. Okay. So you have the past tense, you have the present tense, singular present tense with the S, you have the continuous tense, and then you have a noun, right, runner. So these are considered family members. Then you have to look at the words around these words to know whether it's past tense, present tense, present perfect or whatever. Only then you can decide and eliminate the other family members before you get the correct answer. So I'm sure your teacher has taught you that way, but maybe using different terms. Like I like to use the term family members. All right. So when my pupils bring in strangers, I say these are strangers. Strangers don't not allowed to be with the family. All right. Okay. Then you have part 3, 8 marks. Now this one, you need to know what form you are in because it's slightly, the layout is slightly different for Form 1 and different for Form 2 and Form 3. Okay, so it's information transfer and definitely is an extended text that is longer than Part 2. So Part 2 is error correction, is longer than Part 1. So Part 3 is longer than Part 2. And you have to make sure that each answer for you to transfer the information is not more than 5 words. Now, even if you have the full sentence with part of the answer is there, but if it's more than 5 words, you will not be marked correct. You will still be wrong because you should not use more than 5 words. So if you copy the whole sentence with the correct answer to put as part of your answer, you will not get marks. All right? So for Form 1, if you're Form 1, whatever information you get, you need to transfer it to a table. Table, very simple, is always in a box form. All right, table form, box is in the form of a box. And you just have to find information that the table wants you to fill in and then look for it in the text and fill it up. It's always not more than 5 words. Now, for Form 2, you have to transfer the information to a mind map. So it's not a table, it's a mind map. The mind map can be in any form, but the way to do it is the same. It's just that the form has changed from a table to a mind map. Okay. Now, if you are in Form 3, you wouldn't know whether you get a table or mind map. You can get either one. So you just have to try. If you get a table, then you transfer information to a table. If you get a mind map, then you transfer a table to a mind map. Okay. So Form 1 is clear table. Form 2 mind map. Form 3 is either a table or a mind map. And both ways, whether a table or mind map, the strategy to find the answer is the same. Find the keywords, look for the answer in the text, and make sure you whatever you fill in is not more than 5 words. Okay? All right. Now, part 4, if you can see, I wrote there 8 or 10 marks. It depends on what form you are at. Because different forms, you have different things to do and different marks allocation, right? So it's reading comprehension. I'm sure you know part 4, you will get a text. But what is told is that form 1 would get non-linear text. Non-linear text means advertisements, signs, leaflets, pamphlets, that kind of thing, non-linear text. All right. So when you get that kind of text, it doesn't matter the kind of text that you get actually. What you need to do is you need to answer 4 true false questions, meaning you got 4 sentences, and then you have to answer true or false. And then the other 4 remaining one is short answer. Now, I'm writing there in yellow, not more than 5 words, because I need you to read the instruction when you're doing part 4. If they say that you must fill in the blanks with not more than 5 words, then make sure that you do not use more than 5 words to complete the sentences. When you want to complete sentences, you must make sure the sentences are grammatically correct. Meaning, if a verb like is missing or are is missing, you have to put it in to make the sentence structurally or sounds correct or is correct, grammatically correct, right? So all that things you need to consider. But I think form 1, yours is quite simple. Don't have to worry too much. Just use not more than 5 words. If they write there not more than 2 words, then use 2 words, whatever number of words. Just make sure you read the instruction. Okay? Now, form 2 and form 3, you will get a linear text. Linear text means the normal text. It can be a letter, it can be a normal text, reading text. All right? Okay? You get 8 short answers. You have the question is you need to complete 8 sentences. There will be like sentence with a gap, just like form 1, we have 4, but you have 8. And all of them, you must make sure you do not use more than 5 words. All right? And then you also have, you also have 2 questions on vocabulary, which I'm sure you know. This is the typical, the old PT3 format, okay, where you have 8 comprehension questions and the last 2 would be for you to find words in the text when the meaning has been given. So based on that meaning given, for each of the meaning, find one word. It's only one word. So you need to find the word and put it inside the box, whatever box or table that they have given you. So here, for form 1, you have 8 questions because 4 and 4. Form 2, you have, 8 questions, correct? 10 questions because you got 8 short answers and 2 vocabulary. So 8 marks and 10 marks. All right, so far no questions. Everybody is quiet. So I assume understanding is there. Right, then you have part 5. Now part 5, again you will see I've written here 8 and 6. Right, don't forget because in part 4, form 1 had 8. Form 2 and 3 had 10. So they have an extra 2. So part 5, to make up the less 2 in part 4, part 5 for form 1 have extra 2. That doesn't mean it's more difficult than form 2 and form 3. Okay? Right. So it is the gap. Gap text, remember, it is like they give you a text and then they take out sentences from the text. So you have a gap sentences between the sentences. So you need to find out which sentence would best be put at the gap so that the sentences are linked and flow well. All right. So form 1, you have 2 texts. Okay, form 1 has 2 texts, not the normal one that you have in all your activity book where it's only 1 text, right? Now you will have 2 separate texts. Each text will have 4 gaps, meaning 4 missing sentences. And then you have below the text, you will have 4 options which are sentences. 4 sentences below the text where you need to find which sentence go into the blanks, the missing sentences. So you don't have extra sentences for that text. And then you go text number 2, you have another 4 sentences missing or 4 gaps, and then you are given another 4 sentences for you to choose. So all you have 8 blanks because 2 text, 8 missing sentences, and 8 options. And you will use all these sentences into and put them into the missing sentence. Okay, I hope that is clear. So you don't have extra where you say, oh, I don't have to use this. You will have to use all the sentences and each text 4 options. You finish one text, then you will look at the second text and that has 4 blanks and 4 different sentences for you to choose. All right? Okay, quite simple. Then form 2 and form 3. Well, yours is similar to how PT3 was, meaning you got one text with 6 missing sentences and you are given 8 options, meaning you got 8 sentences to choose from. You will have 2 extra sentences that you would not use. So it's even though you have one text, it's a little bit harder than form 1. Right? So that is part 5. This is one thing you have to remember, answer sheet for your reading paper. That is why now I'm telling you the reason why you have 1 hour 30 minutes. The reason you have extra minutes is because you have to transfer all your answers in your question paper to the answer sheet provided at the back of the paper. So just fill up all your answers at the back. Only your answers, just write it. If you have to shade A, B, C, D, the one, sorry, no D, A, B, C, you shade the first 8 questions. Error correction, you put down all the words that you have corrected. And then your reading, your information transfer also, you put in all the answers that you have put in the table or mind map. And then in part 4, the reading comprehension, you will fill in all your true false if you're form 1 and your short answers, or form 2 and form 3, your short answers and your vocabulary. And then part 5, you will have again to shade whether it's A, B, C, D for form 1. And then for form 2 and 3, you will have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You have to choose the answer. So you have to transfer all your answers to the answer sheet provided at the back of the paper. My advice to you, whether to use pen or pencil, because that would be the famous question most of you would love to ask, is actually I would use pencil, but please listen to your school, please listen to your teachers, because they have their own reason why you want to use pen or pencil, whatever. All right, but I would advise to use pencil because when you are doing your form 5 later for SPM, you need to use pencil for this part. When you pass out the paper, it's an OMR paper, computerized paper. So if you use pen, for especially when you shade A, B, C, D, the computer may not be able to read it. Okay, that's the only reason. So it's better to practice when you are in lower secondary before you go to form 4, form 5. That's the only reason. But if your school teacher, if anybody in your school say, please use pen because they are scared that, you might erase and your answers are not there, then please use pen. Okay? All right. Now, let's go to writing. So writing, the code is 12/2 for writing. And as usual, only 2 parts. Part 1 is short communicative message, 20 marks. And part 2 essay, also 20 marks. So you have 40 marks there also, right? You don't have part 3 like the form 4 and form 5. So form 1, 2, and 3, you only have 2 parts. And then this one is easy. You only answer in the question paper. You don't have to transfer it anywhere else. Okay, so for 20 marks part 1, this is an example taken and given from the old PT3 sample paper. All right, so you have to write a response of about 80 words based on the given text, meaning it's usually a text message. Right, so this is an example. Okay, you read a message from your English speaking friend named Alex. He says, hi, I'm thinking of starting a new hobby. I could do cooking, cycling or painting or maybe something else. What should I do? Let me know what you think. The friend is Alex. Okay? So in about 80 words, write a message to Alex giving some advice. So this is very simple. Okay, when you are doing this, if you want to answer this question, you have to look at what is being asked. It asks you to advise, all right, whether Alex should do cooking, cycling, or painting, or maybe something else. So if you say, you give an answer like, I think you should do fishing, for example. The choice are not here, but because of something else, the answer would be accepted. Okay, now if they don't have this or maybe something else, just say I could do cooking, cycling, or painting. Only three. Without this or maybe something else, you should only choose one of the three to be safe. All right, so you choose. But if they have or maybe something else, yes, you can name any other hobby for Alex to do. You need to say what is the hobby and you need to give a reason why. Okay, you don't just say, okay, you should do painting by the end. No. So please give a reason, give your choice for your friend and give a reason. This is a very easy question. So you just write in the space provided for a message. They would usually give you the box and where you should write a message, just write it there. Okay, if you write your choice and give a reason, good reason why, explain why your friend should choose that hobby, you easily can get marks 5 for content. The other issues like organization and language, that one is based on how you write it. That will be a different life itself that I have to do to talk just about writing. Okay, now for part 2, 20 marks. So you write a response based on the mind map given. Now you have to be careful with this depending on the form that you are at. Now if you are form 1, you are only expected to write 70 to 90 words. Okay, if you are form 2, you only write 80 to 100 words. And if you are form 3, you have to write 100 to 120 words. Now form 1, you only be given 3 points. Form 2, you will only be given 4 points. And form 3, you'll be only given 5 points. Okay? Everybody is not going to get, the forms are not all going to get the same number of points. The questions would be different, but to show you the example, I'm using the same example. Please don't say that, oh, if form 1 get this question, I'm also going to get this. No, I'm giving an example based on the same topic, which is not going to happen in your exam. Every one of you are going to get, each form will get a different topic. All right? Because it will be difficult for me to find different questions and then show all the difference. All right? So I'm just going to show you an example. Now, this is an example for Form 1 because if you can see, right, it's written that in your class, you have been talking about celebration. The questions is always the same. In your class, you have been talking about the topic. All right? So it can be any topic. And then in about 70 to 90 words, this is Form 1 because 70 to 90 words, write an essay about a celebration you enjoyed. Now, you may use the notes below, may not have there anymore. I forgot to delete that. I have to delete. You may use the notes below to help you. It's no longer there. They will just give you that 2 sentences. In your class, you have been talking about celebration. In about 70 to 90 words, write an essay about a celebration you enjoyed. So you have these 3 points and just use these 3 points to explain. 70 to 90 words is similar to part 1 because you are in Form 1. So we don't ask a lot of words from you. And you just write about these 3 points within the 70 to 90 words. Why you celebrate it, how you feel, and who you celebrate it. Now, when you have 3 points, the bubble map will be all around, like here one, here one, here one. Okay, but because I took an example, it's very difficult for me to just change the position of the bubble map. All right. Now, if you are in Form 2, you can see here has changed. All right. In your class, you have been talking about celebrations in about 80 to 100 words. Write an essay. I'm using the same example, but Form 2, you might get a different question. All right. So you will get 4 points. So in an extra point, and you have to write within this word on the 4 points. Okay, and then if you are Form 3, in about 120 words, write an essay. So you get 5 points. So this is what you get, 5 points. Okay, the original one last time, previously when there was PT3, it was 6 points, but you have 5 points. So these are what you are going to get depending on the form that you're at. Okay, so Form 1, 3 points, Form 2, 4 points, Form 3, 5 points. Okay, so basically that is what I need to share for you. So you have any questions? I doubt no, because everyone is so quiet. No questions, right? I might be doing other live on how to tackle essay questions, how to tackle reading questions, all right, so that you can use all these strategies actually for all kinds of language proficiency, English language proficiency tests, whether it's for your UASA, for SPM, for IELTS or whatever. The strategy is the same. It's only thing the text get harder. So I'll be focusing on that whenever I do my YouTube live. All right. So that's all. Take care. Since you have no questions. All right. This group is so quiet compared to the first time when I had live. It was a lot of people talking. All right. So take care and hope to see you again. Bye-bye.